A note on Entre Les Murs, a French film, winner of the Palme D'Or, and deservedly so because it is a canvas, a fresco, an excellent picture of what happens inside the walls of a French establishment, where students learn and teachers try to to teach, and it's nearly impossible in some places. It's true. There's a complicated. Uh, it's a complicated situation, and the film is about education. Of course, it's students and teachers, but it's also a question of culture, of race relations, religious matters, I would say. We all know so many bad things, so many terrorist attacks that took place in France, in Paris, in Nice, in I don't know where, but where they killed that poor priest. Recently, a few days ago in London, in Brussels, in Germany with that truck, and so much more. It's a question of how do you integrate, how do you deal with the radicalized Islamists, many, most of them, and what role does religion play in all this? If France is a secular state, and the approach is state administration is one thing, religion is another, and they don't. Religion is has no place in public life, in as much as religious symbols, crosses, headscarves, and other are not permitted. And I think, in a way, this is the right approach. It's true there are also tensions, and it's true that Islam is being stigmatized, and it's typecasting and it's generalization. Muslim, they're all bad, and that's obviously stupid. Every large group, as it has been established, ethnic, religious, or otherwise, has a majority of decent, good people. If it's large enough, if it's a group of a few criminals, a mafia gang, they're all crooked. But you can't have a mafia state. Well, you have North Korea, where there's a lunatic at the helm, and with him a bunch of loyalists and clique benefiting from money, wealth, whatever, and their interest is to keep the status quo. But that doesn't mean that the North Koreans are evil. They've been brainwashed, and that's a troubling, worrying thing. We can also look at Russia, where 80% approve of Putin, who is not the same as Kim Il-won, Korea, North Korea. But still, uh, something like a dictator, nevertheless, and a murderer and a thug kills people with polonium if he feels like. Litvinenko, the journalist Polyanskaya, Boris Nemtsov kills a few hundred meters from the Kremlin. Anyway, so returning, uh, it's a dramatic story. I also have a real interest in it because even if we're far away from Paris, in Bucharest, my daughter studies at the French lycée, and I don't have the situation of Entre Les Murs, alhamdulillah, but I'm still unhappy with a number of issues there, and I think in some ways the French educational system is good. It has some good results, but it's far from the peak. I mean that countries like Finland, places in Asia and Korea, not North Korea, South Korea this time, have excellent results in education. But Singapore is one of the leaders. France is not there, and in a way I can see why. My daughter is doing well, but still, there are teachers who are not that good. There was one who had this attitude, which is stupid in the view of Pygmalion effect. Pygmalion effect, it was proved by psychology that when a teacher believes in his students, that they perform well, and the reverse is true. And this was on, in Romania they do much, the Romanians, and well, if this is your attitude, if you think Romanian students, Romanians in general, are not that good, this is what will happen. They will not be that good. And he was a teacher of French, if you will, the most important class there. And at the level of the headmaster, le proviseur, I'm really disappointed. I will give just one example. There is a big parking lot, and now with 21 degrees outside, there are hundreds of cars, many of which will be left running. They just owners sit in the car, waiting with the windows closed and the engine running. And the climate control set for 21 degrees, 21 outside, 21 inside. Only they need to pollute the atmosphere for nothing, because they can just lower the windows and they have the same temperature. It's in large part the responsibility of drivers, many of them people with a good standard of living and with a need to show off this. I mean, I have this SUV, German luxury make, and I have the money to burn diesel, and I don't care. I'm a big shot. But what does the high school authority do? Don't you see this? I've seen this, and I'm just a normal person. I'm not an educator. I'm not. And I even mentioned to them, and they said nothing. It's not that they don't care. And I feel this is not good. I mean, they should see this, and even if they maybe don't have the authority, speaking of the parking lot of that establishment, so some authority they do have, but maybe they can't impose. Look, you just cut the engine off, everyone. At least you create an awareness, put some signs. Please, if it's 21, you need in the car and it's outside, let's say, cut the engine off. Stop polluting the atmosphere for nothing. But then I've seen people from the embassy doing this with a diplomatic place. So, right there. So there it is. Entre Les Murs, wonderful, wonderful film.